Hi everybody.
Hi everyone.
Today we want to talk a little bit about Thousand Trails, whether it's worth it, and a little bit about how it works and our experience with it. So stay tuned. Okay, there's a company called Thousand Trails for those of you who don't know about it, and they have a membership that you can sign up for, and there's different types of memberships. There's a lifetime membership, there's a 1 year membership. There are different things you can sign up for. What we had was just the regular 1 year membership, and it cost us, I think, about $500. There are 5 zones in Thousand Trails. So there's a northeast zone and there's a southeast zone. I think there's a midwest zone, and there's a southwest zone and a northwest zone. So, and then there's also something called the Trails Collection. So basically, you buy a zone and then you can buy additional zones. They often have passes, or they often have discounts on their website. I think they have different specials, and I think they always have a special going. I think we paid about $500, and then it was like 40 for one zone. We took the northeast zone because we lived in the northeast. And then we added the southeast zone on, and that was about $49, I think, at the time. And then you could add as many zones on as you wanted, but we just went with the 2 because we were just going down the East Coast. And then we did add something called the Trails Collection, and they have parks in all different places. We didn't use that a whole lot, but it does give you extra parks to go in. And so we paid $199 for the Trails Collection. Thousand Trails, you can be in a park for up to 2 weeks with what we had. With other memberships, I think you can be in longer. But if you stay in the park for 2 weeks, then you have to be out of the system for 7 days. Or you can go every 4 days in a park, and then you can keep going from park to park to park to park. But with Trails Collection, there's regular Thousand Trails parks, and then there's Trails Collection, which I think are also called Encore.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go into Thousand Trails, then if you go into Encore, you can't go into another Encore. You have to go back to Thousand Trails and then back to Trails Collection, and then back to Thousand Trails and back to Trails Collection. You can go consecutively in Thousand Trails as much as you want. So you can go Thousand Trails, Thousand Trails, Thousand Trails, Thousand Trails, but you can't go Thousand Trails, Trails Collection, Trails Collection, Trails Collection. After Trails Collection, you have to go back into Thousand Trails in order to go to Trails Collection again. So we only stayed at parks 4 days at a time.
The most, yeah. I don't think we ever stayed in any one park for more than 4 days.
We were headed down the East Coast, but what we found is that sometimes we had trouble getting into a park. We pretty much always got into one, but the thing is that you can book like in advance, and we just left Buffalo. We didn't know where we were going. I mean, we knew we were going to Florida, but that's all we knew. We didn't have any other plan in mind, so we didn't know how long we'd want to stay in a park. We were just learning how to live in an RV, how to move it and everything else. So we found that when we tried to get parks at the last minute, it was often difficult.
There was the dreaded 2 words that I didn't like hearing when you would try to make a reservation a lot of times, and it was no availability. I did not like that, hearing that, and it got stressful sometimes because when it was time to try to make a reservation, I was always afraid to call because I was going to say, are we going to find availability? And a lot of times there was no availability, but we lucked out a lot of times. We were able to find spots, and what we found was a lot of times if we went on the computer and tried to book through the website, Thousand Trails website, they would tell you right away no availability.
Mm-hmm.
But if you actually called them, a lot of times, sometimes you might get someone who would try to get you in, and we were lucky, and we were able to get in, a lot of the times. So
one thing I forgot to mention before is after you buy the membership, you stay at the parks for free. But the membership we had, after 30 days of staying at the parks, we would have had to pay $3 a day. With some of the lifetime memberships, you don't have to pay that $3 a day fee. And also, some of the Trails Collection parks do charge an extra $20 on top of you having the membership fee. But it's nice because you can go and stay in parks for free. They were mostly nice parks.
They were really nice. Some of them were really really nice parks. They had pools. A lot of them had just they had things activities. They had laundry areas you can go do your laundry at. They had propane there. Just basically, it was a nice, very secure, family-oriented parks. And they also had libraries. That's another thing. It was pretty interesting having libraries there. That's one thing I really enjoyed. But yeah, about the parks themselves, they're nice and clean, and they had dumpsters where you can throw your trash, and they were all pretty much close to all sorts of shopping and other things that you might need to go buy. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, we did like the parks.
One thing that I think everyone should know is that if you're not interested in renewing your membership, at the end of the membership, you have to let them know in writing that you don't want to renew. Otherwise, they'll automatically renew your membership, and even though you might not want to, go forward with that.
Right. So I didn't like that because we had heard different things too. Somebody said you needed to do it 30 days in advance, and then Sal called them and they told him we didn't have to do it 30 days in advance, and he ended up doing it less than 30 days, and we were worried that they were going to renew it. And so I'd rather have it that you have to renew it yourself rather than they renew it automatically.
Right.
Another thing about the Thousand Trails, the parks, a lot of them are kind of far away, and they're all they're mostly by the coast. There are some in that Midwest section that I think are up. They're up maybe like Ohio and Indiana and places like that. But the other parks, like the Northeast, is mostly on the northeast coast, and then the Southeast is mostly on the southeast coast, and then there's some they might go all the way to Texas, and then a lot of the Trails Collection are dispersed throughout, so that helps. And then the West Coast ones are, the Southwest and the Northwest are, I think they're mostly scattered on the coast. So we did find a lot of parks were on the coast, and then sometimes they would be like even 400 miles apart or 300. It was a lot of times, sometimes it was more than we wanted to travel in a day, especially at the beginning.
I guess if there is a major drawback to Thousand Trails is I don't know that they have enough parks around the country. I would say that, like throughout the whole country, like you were just saying, a lot of them are too far apart. So if you want to plan, you pretty much have to plan a long trip. A lot of them aren't very close, and if you go to a certain part of the country, you might not have a Thousand Trail park there. So I guess that probably would be if there is a drawback, that would be one of the drawbacks to a Thousand Trails, or Encore even. I guess ultimately, it depends who you are. For some people, Thousand Trails might be a good thing. It might work for them. If you like making plans way ahead of time, then it might be something that's, that might work out for you. It might work for somebody like that. But if you're somebody like us, the way we were, where we were pretty much making it up as we were going along, and where we would just try to make plans at the last moment, it might not be the best plan for someone who's like that, because a lot of times, like I said, you might not be able to get into a lot of these campsites, especially around their busy times, like around the holidays, when people start heading south. Some of the campsites down south, I think, start getting filled up pretty fast. because of a lot of people, a lot of people that are snowbirds.
Right. By the time we got to Florida in December, we were only able to get one park down in Wildwood, and we weren't able to go further down into Florida because the parks, we weren't able to. They were booked, and so that was one thing that we didn't like. But I find that nomads, a lot of like us out here that are in Arizona and maybe boondocking people, a lot of us tend to not want to make plans, and a lot of times the plans will change. And just living in an RV in general, like let's say we plan to be somewhere for 4 days, and on the 4th day we don't want to move. We would have to, we would have to have it all planned out, and we would have to move on that day, and that's just not how we like to be. We like to just say, okay, well, like right now at the spot we're at, we're here, and we're not sure how long we're going to stay. Obviously, after 2 weeks, we'd have to leave, but generally by the time 2 weeks goes by,
right,
we want to move anyways. But
right,
that's what I would like. It would have been better for us if we could have kind of made reservations at the last minute and say, oh, we're going to leave today, or things like that. On the whole, as a summary, I would say that, I think Thousand Trails is nice. And for somebody who doesn't mind planning and saying, okay, because I think depending on the membership you have, some of them I think you can plan as much as 90 and possibly 120 days in advance. I think with ours, it was either 30 or 60 days, but we just never felt really comfortable booking too far in advance just because of plans changing.
Exactly. So for somebody, like we were saying before, somebody who likes to plan way in advance, yeah, I mean, go for it. This is probably something that would be worth your while, to try it. I think I might give it another try sometime in the future. Maybe not right now, but sometime in the future, depending on how things go. And, I wouldn't mind trying it again. I really enjoyed some of the parks in Thousand Trails.
If you have any further questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you've tried Thousand Trails, or if you're interested in it, or you have any questions, please leave a comment, and just leave a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. We'd like to hear from you. And Allie's laying over here by us.
Hey, Anna.
Allie says, thanks. Allie says, thanks for watching. Henry might be getting nervous now, thinking he's on the move again.
Uh-oh.
Henry's doing really good with moving, though, aren't you? Henry says thanks for watching also. Oh. And then Seymour. Seymour!
Seymour! Where's Seymour?
Seymour!
Oh, here he comes.
Come on, Seymour! Come on!
Oh, Seymour! Come over here. We put you in the video, okay? Oh, come on, baby. Oh, here's Seymour. Seymour says hi to everybody. He said, until he spots that muff on the camera, he says hello. Right, Seymour? Oh, look at that. He's looking at you. Oh, or is he looking at the muff? Seymour was sleeping. We called him and he came over.
Because he thought you were going to feed him, that's why.
Oh, you think we were going to feed you? Okay. All right, everybody.
All right, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Hi, everybody. We just want to talk about... Allie, please. We just want to talk about Thousand Trails. Allie says... What does Allie say?
Please like and subscribe.
I already said that.
Allie says...
Okay.